Hey guys, welcome back to the channel CCUK Resin, and it's that time again. Can you believe it's day 7 already of this Create and Bloom Advent Calendar? I'm excited. Who knows what we're going to get? Could be another iron-on transfer, could be another pigment, could be glitter. Who knows? So do me a favor whilst you're here, if you're liking the content, like and subscribe. It's completely free. Now we've got to find number 7. 10, 22. Where's number 7? Gotta find. Oh, that's a weird looking one. Nope, still not there. 8. Oh, we're getting closer. I can feel it. I know that one's 25. Where's number 7 gone? That's number 9. Aha! Feels like it could be a glitter, but who knows what it could be. So that is number 7. I'll leave number 8 near the top so I know where that is for tomorrow. And let's see what we've got. And don't forget, if it's your first time watching one of these, the reason I did it is not everybody could get one of those advent calendars. So I thought it'd be fun to share the experience. And I'm doing one of these every day from the 1st to the 25th of December. So that we can all share that experience. And don't forget, whilst you're here as well, check out createandbloomcrafts.com, which is who did this advent calendar. Now, this isn't very me. Cupid. It's very pink, glittery hearts. So, again, it's not very me. Look at these. They're gorgeous, but I'm not a massive fan of hearts. But I've got an idea what I'm going to do with them. I'm not going to use them all in one piece, but I've got an idea. So I'm going to mix up some resin and I'll be right back. Right, so we are back and I've just mixed up, I can't remember how many ounces this takes. I think it's 6. So I've mixed up 4 ounces of the Apex High Gloss Resin. If you want any of that, get over to apexresin.co.uk, use my discount code CCUK, get some money off. But the idea is to do this into resin turtle mold in 2 layers. Now, I'm quite happy I've got a curing machine for that. And the plan is I want to use these beautiful Cupid little hearts in a clear layer pretty much up until where that head is. And you can just see there. Hopefully I can get it about right. And maybe even a little bit of clear layer on the top. I don't think that will hurt. And then the bottom layer, I'm going to do a different colour because it can cure in about 2 hours and hopefully give us a cool piece. So let's get these little Cupid hearts out. And I'm going to use this handcrafted mica scoop that I got from the local craft shop where I sell my pieces, which I think is really cool. Look at it. Very, very cool. And I'm just going to go, well, I'm going to have a look first. 1, because I don't want these to take over. 2, I think 3. Well, it is Christmas after all, so let's go with 4. 4, no more than that. 4, that's enough in there, I think, to hopefully show those off. And this is just for that first layer, and I've got plenty left in there. So this is for day 7 of the Advent Calendar, and we got those Cupids. So look at these. They're almost like iridescent hearts, which if you like that kind of thing, you'll be very happy with them. I'm not a big iridescent hearts kind of guy, probably because I'm still single at the minute, but there we go. I think this would be a great make for Valentine's Day, anything like that. So I'm just stirring them around, mixing them into that resin so we get a bit of a mix going off and that they're evenly spread. Now I am creating some bubbles whilst doing that, and I think that's because it is a little bit colder. So in my house right now, because it's colder in the UK, it's only 19 degrees and normally it's about 21 degrees. So I'm just weighing up whether to put this back through the debubbler or not. And I don't think I am, because I do think it will still degas. And I've got some, you've seen me use this in a couple of makes now. I think it was Ignite Dust, I think it was called, from Create and Bloom, which I've just mixed with some alcohol. So just to give it a bit of sparkle, let's put a few drops of that in there as well. And let's give it a mix around and see what we've got. So about 10 drops of that went in there, which was that ignition dust just mixed with alcohol. And then I'm going to give it another stir around. And you know what? If I get a couple of tiny bubbles in this piece, I'm not that fussed because it's a sea creature. It's a turtle. So as long as I don't get any big ones. So again, just mixing it through now. I've put those glitters in. And I'm happy with that as a mix for this first layer. And you can see it's thicker than normal because of how cold it is. Now, part of me is saying, let's put this back through the debubbler. Part of me is saying it won't really matter and I want to see. So what do I go with? I'm just going to go for it, guys. So let's just fill it up. And I'm pretty confident this Apex resin degasses pretty well anyway. And I want to get this up to that sort of head. We'll go a little bit further. I'm not too fussed. And this is just going to hopefully create that first layer, which is going to be an almost glass crystal-like effect. And I don't want it to go too far over the head. I don't mind a tiny little bit in the head, which it probably will just about. And I just think this will look so pretty. There we go. So we're just going into the head now. That's it. I don't want any more than that because I want to save a bit of space for that back layer. The rest of these, I have got a skull mould at the side of me, as always, as a drip mould. And they can go in there, but I am going to add a tiny bit of ink. And I'm tempted to do the same to this, but I'm going to stop myself because I want to see what these look like clear with just those hearts shining through. But in the skull, I'm just going to put 2 drops of this red alcohol ink in before I pour. Hopefully that will create a cool little effect. So, and that's the great thing with this curing machine as well from Resin is you can fit these bigger molds like skull molds in there as well. So this is just going to create another layer in the skull. And hopefully we'll still see some of those in the finished piece. And always don't forget to scrape your cup because there'll be about ½ an ounce of resin in there and you don't want to waste it. In fact, I love that colour. Part of me is tempted to do the same with the back of this turtle, but I'm not going to. I want to see what it looks like clear first. Do you ever question yourself when you're doing a mate? I know I do. So there we go. 5 minutes in, pretty straightforward. I'm going to put the curing machine on for 2 hours, and then we're going to come back and we're going to do a base layer in completely different colours, and hopefully get a really cool turtle. Who knows? I can't see any bubbles on the surface. I'm not going to talk. Well, we'll give it one just for good measure. There we go. And let's put this curing machine on, and I'll see you guys in precisely 2 hours where we're going to finish it off. I think it'll only take another 2 ounces of resin, but I'll probably mix 4 so I can fill up the strip mold at the same time. So I'll see you in 2 hours. Don't forget, like and subscribe to the channel. And if you can, consider joining membership. I'll see you in a sec. So here we go, guys. We're back. It's been 3 hours. This is now cured. And I thought, what am I going to do for this final layer? I want it to be special. And I've got 2 items that I haven't used yet from Create and Bloom, which are abalone shards, which are absolutely beautiful. And they're just broken up pieces of abalone shell, which looks stunning. So I picked out 2 pieces, and hopefully this is going to work. One for the head and one for the main piece. But then I've also got some of these beautiful midnight sapphire pieces, which I thought would look really cool. And we're going to try that. So I've mixed up some more resin. And I think I want a bit of colour in this layer as well with the resin. So I've mixed up far too much. I've done 4 ounces. It's not like me to mix up too much resin. But we're going to have a go with this. And I think blue and that pink would actually go quite well together. So this is pretty much cured now. You can touch it and it has, well, it's completely cured. So what I want to do, I think, is position the 2 pieces that I've picked and make sure they fit. So this should fit nicely, hopefully in the head, just to give us a bit of a shimmer. And it doesn't, it fits underneath the mold, which is great. And then this big piece, and these do sync by the looks of things, guys, but I think it'll be okay. So I'm going to put that somewhere in the center there, just like a little heart, and I love the shape of that. And I think this should work. So, and all I'm going to do to this is I am going to add a little bit of color. I want Smurf, I think, which is a blue octopus ink. It's not going to take a lot. I don't need too much color, but I just want a little bit. 4 drops should be enough. And then I'm going to mix that round, he says, just to make sure it's coloured all of the resin. And you could do it, just leave it like that, and then you get a really cool sort of, some bits clear, some bits blue, but I want it predominantly Smurf, like so. So this is now just beautiful coloured resin, ever so slightly. And then what I'm going to do is get another pot, and we're going to get some of these Midnight Sapphire pieces into this pot, add some resin for this final layer, and see what happens, you know. I want them to be very visible though. I love these. And don't be afraid to add things to your resin, guys. You know, this is going to create a lot of bubbles though, so I know that before I even start pouring, because it's like when you add rocks or things like that. So I'm just going to add a decent amount of that resin in there. Now that's trapping all of those all of that air in, which I don't want. So I am going to stir it around and make sure that all of these pieces get completely covered in resin. And then we're just going to pour. Just going to leave it for a second, let some of those bubbles come out. But look at these. And I think then with that resin is going to be gorgeous. And anything extra is going to go into this drip mold at the side anyway. So let's just pour. And if I get a few bubbles, as I said before, I'm not overly concerned, because I actually think it'll add to this piece. So let's get these going in and around the head as well. Now I've got to make sure I don't leave any air pockets, because that could cause a few problems. But I'm just going to pour. And wherever they fall, you know. I'm not overly concerned. But I just think these will give a great little effect to this turtle. Hopefully. A few more over the back. A couple more in there. A few more in the head. Now I do want to make sure that it does sit level though. Because if it doesn't sit level, we may have problems putting it on a flat surface. But these were just beautiful. I haven't used them yet, so I wanted to see what they would look like in this. And again, we've got that mother of pearl as well, which should hopefully shine through. And that's most of those. I am going to mix up some more though, because I want some in this skull. I'm just going to get this and just maneuver them around. Flatten them out if you like. Especially in these little feet. And I do want to make sure that this mould is completely full as well. But before I do that, I might as well mix up some more of these for the skull. And whilst I mix up some more of these, hopefully the rest can be debubbling. So again, that many I think should be enough to pretty much fill it. So I'm just going to pour some more resin in there. In we go. Let it do its thing. And I do need to put a tiny bit more in here just to make sure that this is completely full as well. Almost doming is the look I'm going for. And you've really got to make sure that these feet are full as well on this mould. But I'm pretty happy that that should now be full. And I've still got plenty of resin left, so figure out what I'm doing with that in a second. But again, just mixing this around as well before I add it in the skull, making sure all of those pieces get completely covered. And again, this I mainly want around the edges of this skull, so if there's any clear, it'll be in the center, and these are the bits that you'll see around the edges. Out you come. And I think it would just give this skull a lot of bling. Don't really want it on the outside of the mould, but there we go. And now I'm going to use my stick just to maneuver them around, so I know I've got a bit around the edge all the way around. Push them back. And there's a load more in this cup, and I don't want to waste any of them because they are absolutely beautiful. But I just want to hopefully get them all out of this cup into the skull, almost building them up around the sides, because this is going to be the final layer, I think, of this skull. Again, pushing them through. I don't want any ear gaps. That's the only thing that could spoil this right now. So let's get the rest of these out and into this skull. And hopefully it's going to be a beautiful piece. But it is resin, so you never know until you demould. And obviously once I fill this completely with the resin, once I've built it up at the sides a little bit more, it's all going to level itself out anyway. But I just want to make sure I'm not wasting these. There we go. I think that's about as many as I can get out. And so I'm just going to make sure it's full. And then we're going to cure it. So hopefully in this video, not only will we get this beautiful turtle if it works out, but we'll also get to demould that drip skull. I'm just putting a drop more in just to make sure that these feet are completely filled, and the head. There'd be nothing worse than and you can see that's now overflowing, so it's definitely full. And I think this skull mould is as well. Just going to give it a second for any bubbles to naturally come out. Then we're going to switch this on. And then we should be able to demould in around about 3 hours. Now I've still got a tiny bit of resin left. And you know me, I don't like to waste it. So, can I move this ever so gently? Yes. And I don't mind that it's gone over the edges a little bit. I can always sort that out when I demould. But have I got a starfish mould? I have. I think there should be enough there to fill a starfish. Hopefully. So let's do this one. So again, I do want a few of these to be in it. So what I'm going to do is there's still a few in there, which I said I didn't want to waste. So I'm just going to pour some of this resin in this cup. Mix them around. Like so. And then start pouring them in. I'm going to see what it looks like in this starfish as well. Hoping we've got enough resin to fill it. We should have. There we go, and there's still some in there, so let's pour the resin back in the cup and pour it out of the cup. Hopefully just to encourage any of those that are stuck to come out as well. And we're going to fill this up all the way. And hopefully this will give us a cool effect as well. Don't know, not tried it before, but that's what this channel is all about as well. So if it's your first time to the channel, welcome. It's all about experimenting and seeing what we get. There's no promises on this channel that we're going to get a perfect make every time. Just about having fun and seeing what happens. So let's put all of this resin in. Completely fill up this starfish. And again, if there's a few bubbles in there, I don't actually mind in a starfish. And there we go. That is about perfect. So going to put the curing machine on. We're going to leave it for 2-3 hours to cure. And then we're going to see what we've got. Hopefully it's going to work out. And then we can see what we're going to get for day 8. This is the end of day 7. So I'm going to put that curing machine on and I'll see you guys. In fact, let's put a drop of this on. Just because I've got it out and I love one of my favourite little glittery sparkles is just from using this ignition dust from Create and Bloom. I don't want too much in there, but I want enough. We just get a little sparkle, hopefully, around the whole piece. You have got to shake it up though, because the glitter might get stuck. It's tiny glitter though. Have a couple more drops. And I think I've just spotted a hair, so that needs to come out. The good thing is the alcohol will also disperse any bubbles that you might have on the surface. And just remember, if you use an alcohol, you do not use a torch afterwards. There we go. Happy with that. Don't want too much sparkle. I just wanted a tiny little bit. And you can see where it's going over the edge, but we should be okay. I'll just clean those up at Demould. I could take some resin out, but I'm not going to. I think it'll be easier to clean off at Demould and just sand them back. So that's it. Let's put the lid on and I'll see you guys at Demould. So here we go, guys. And I'm excited for this. Day 7, Demould. Let's see what we've got. So they're looking cool already. Let's do the Starfish first. And this is just, well, 2 of these are actually into resin moulds. And I think that's turned out really cool, actually. Got that beautiful sparkle from the gem effect. And then you can just see those stones in there. I really like that. For a little sparkly starfish. So that's that one. Let's do the turtle. In fact, no, let's do the skull next, because that was a drip mould. And let's see what we've got. Slightly overfilled, but I can sort that out. Look, the edge. Look, I'd rather overfill than underfill with these. And let's see what this guy looks like, shall we? Just be careful if you ever overfill as well, because they are sharp. So here we go. And it's just about getting this bit over the edge. And then they demold pretty easily. Right, so let's see what this little drip skull looks. Wow. Look at this guy. He's turned out really cool. And that is 1, 2, 3, 4, about 6 projects gone into there. And it's just the leftover drips that make this beautiful skull. So I am going to sand around the edge, just because I slightly over poured, and you can see that lip there. But I think he turned out really cool. I think that was day 3 layer there. That was day 1. So I can see those different colours in there. That's what I say when I say don't throw away your spare drips of resin. You can always get a cool little drip effect skull or something like that. And I really like how he turned out. So there we go. Another skull. So that's him. Now what we came for, which is the turtle. And again, I am going to need to sort the edge because I did over pour, but we knew that. And I'm intrigued as to how he's turned out like. So I love that, where you can see through. But let's just go for it. Let's have, oh wow. So you can see it did sink, but I love that. It's got kind of a 3D-ness about it because they're still spread around the edge. So if you look closely, you can still see those hearts. But you can still see that mother of pearl as well, even though it's a slightly coloured resin. And I don't know about you guys, but I quite like it. And I could sit looking at this for hours, just looking in there at the mother of pearl. I might do another one of these without the glitter.
But that's what obviously day 7 was. It was that glitter, and I thought it was a fun way to use it. So if you want to know, it does sink, guys. But I still like the way that it's sort of falling around the sides as well. And you can still see that mother of pearl at the right angle through this beautiful crystal mould. So let me know what you think. But I think for day 7, he's turned out really cute, really cool. Just a little turtle with those beautiful Cupid hearts. And I'm sure I'm going to be using them again as we get towards sort of Valentine's Day. But that was day 7. Let's get on to day 8. And I hope you enjoyed it. If you are, do me a favor, like and subscribe to the channel. Doesn't cost you anything. And by all means, consider joining membership for the cost of a coffee. It's just a great way to support the channel. So here we go, that little beautiful crystal turtle with that glitter. And I'll see you guys tomorrow for day 8.